welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I've done an all drugstore makeup look. So this is the look I created and I'll show you step by step how I achieved this just using drugstore products. A lot of you might have these products at home anyways, so hopefully you can recreate some of this. Some of the products that I do use, I've got here Magnif'Eyes Spice Edition eyeshadow palette from Rimmel. I've got one of my faves, bronzer Illuminator Revlon Skin Lights. A concealer, this is True Match from L'Oreal. And lastly, one of my favorite drugstore mascaras, this is Maybelline Colossal Big Shot. I've used all these products plus a few more and I show you step by step how I achieve this look. So continue watching if you'd like to see how I got this look. Keeping the lips very matte and the eyes bronzy, shimmery, bit of highlight. Yes, anyway, I'll stop talking and let's get into it. I'm going to start with two concealers. This one is True Match from L'Oreal and this one is Fit Me from Maybelline. I'm going to mix two colours together because one's a little bit too light and one's a little bit too reddish. So these are the only ones that I could find that kind of went with my skin tone. So I'm just going to dab a little bit there, here, and there. Moving on to foundation. So because I'm trying my best to find a drugstore foundation that suits olive skin tone, can be a little bit tricky, but I feel like I have found something very similar. So this is from L'Oreal True Match. The shade is 4D or 4W, it's got both there. And then I'm also going to mix it with the Revlon Skin Lights just to balance it out. Also to give a little bit more of a bronzed glow underneath the foundation. So that's what I'm going to do now. This is a very dewy foundation. It's very lightweight as well, so I can tell that my skin is quite shiny. I don't have a drugstore setting powder, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is and just build on top using some contour, some blush, and we'll continue the look by now doing my eyebrows. Using my favorite, all-time favorite eyebrow pencil, it's the Maybelline Brow Satin. It's got the crayon type pencil shape here, and then it's also got the powder puff. I call it the powder puff. So it gives you both options, and I'm just going to do my eyebrows off camera. Eyebrows are done. Using an eyebrow gel from L'Oreal, this is tinted in brown. I'm just going to put that on my eyebrows as well to set them in place and to separate the hairs, make them look a little bit more natural. Moving on to bronzer, this is ChiChi Viva La Diva. It's got 3 shades, it's a medium bronzer. So I'm going to use that as my contour. So there's 3 shades there. And I normally go for the lighter one to begin with to build up. So I'll just start by starting from this area here and then blending in so it's not so harsh on the cheek area. I'm so used to stick contour these days that it's a lot easier using cream contour than it is using powder for some reason. I think because when the skin is wet or when it feels really dewy from a foundation, the powder can look a little bit blotchy. So cream contour is just a lot easier to blend because it's already creamy, it's already not wet but sticky in some kind of sense. So it blends a lot easier than powder. But we can make this work. Using the same light shade, I'm just going to dip that in there and contour my nose. And when I close my eyes, you can see the crease of the concealer, so I'm going to buff that out. And then I'll put my bronzer in that area as well, just to warm up the eye area before putting on eyeshadow. I'll use the same light shade as well. And just blend that out. So I'm just blending that out on the edges. Blend it out. Okay, so that's the bronzer slash contour done. Moving on to blush. So Rimmel has this 3-sectioned palette here. It's got highlighter, bronzer and blush. Pretty simple, pretty easy to use. So I'm going to use the blush from this palette here. So that one there. There's not much pigment in this one, so you'll probably need to use a little bit more than you usually would with this. So it's very subtle, it's more of a peachy pink type of tone, so you will need to add a little bit more when applying this blush, just because the pigment isn't as strong as other blushes that I've used from, you know, Sephora or Mecca. But it is a good choice. It's handy because you've got the highlighter in there as well. Speaking of highlighter, I do have some options as well. They're both from Rimmel. So in that same palette, you've got this highlighter up here, but then also Rimmel came out with another one, so it's also sectioned off into 3, and it's all different tones of highlighter. So you've got pink, gold, and I guess that's more of a brownie gold. So I don't know what tone will suit my complexion. I think it's all just trial and error, but I will probably mix them, or to be safe, I'll start with this one first, because I have other highlighters that look like that. So I'm just going to use a fluffy brush. I'm going to dip into that highlighter. And I will just dab it just in this section here. Not sure if it comes out on the camera, but it's actually quite nice. So I won't use the other ones, I'll just stick to this one. Okay, so that's highlighter done. I'm just going to put a little bit more blush just to blend it in with the highlighter. Moving on to eyes, so I'm going to be using this Magnif'Eyes Spice Edition from Rimmel. So it looks like that. And I'm going to be doing more of a bronzed caramel type of eyeshadow look. So because I've already put the bronzer in this area here, it's already warmed up the eyes, it's ready now for some eyeshadow, for some spice. So I probably will use this one here, just a matte shade, to just put in this crease there. So we'll just grab a little bit of that. I actually like this palette. It's quite nice. It's really pigmented as well. So when applying the eyeshadows, I just feel like they blend really well, and the color is, yeah, it's quite good. It's quite nice. I am going to just take that out like that. So I have that caramel matte shade on, and I'm just going to buff it out a little bit more, just using a fluffy brush here. And on the top part of the lid, I'm going to be using a shimmery brown gold shade just here. And using that same caramel matte shade, this one here, I'm going to put that under my lower lashes. Now I'm going to move on to highlighter, but this one is from L'Oreal, so it looks like this. It's a powder form, and I'm going to put that in the inner corners of my eye. Just going to dip that in there and just place that in the inner corners here. And just drag it up a little bit so that it all looks blended and gives a little bit of a highlight in this area as well. I'm going to use the same highlighter from L'Oreal and place it in the arch of my eyebrow. Moving on to mascara and eyeliner, I'm going to be using one of my favorites. This is Maybelline, the Colossal Big Shot, and Rimmel. This is the Exaggerate Waterproof Eyeliner, and it's in a chocolate brown. I always make sure to put mascara on the lower lashes as well. Moving on to eyeliner, and I'll just place this in the waterline, and that's the eyeliner done. Moving on to lip liners and lipsticks, I've got a few options, but today I'm going to go with the Rimmel Spiced Lip Liner. The colour of this lip liner is like a spiced cinnamon or like a reddish brown type of tone, so I'm going to put that on my lips, just outlining the lips. I've got a few options for lipsticks, for nude lipsticks, and they're all from Rimmel. So this is number 45, 42, 720 and 54. I'll do some swatches for you in the next shot. I won't be using any of these ones, but I just wanted to show you some nude options from Rimmel. I've decided to use a matte liquid lipstick, and this is from Maybelline. It's Superstay and it's Seductress, number 65. So it looks like this. Excuse all the makeup that's on it. And there we go. So I'm just going to blend that in to the lip liner. When you smile using this liquid matte lipstick, it does stain your teeth. So I'm just going to do the old tissue trick that my mum taught me. Okay, that should do it. I'm just going to dab it so that it's not so sticky. It's actually not very sticky, it's quite comfortable, but I just want to press the colour in to my lips, even it out. And I think the lip liner works quite well with this. If you want to intensify the lip look, then you can definitely go over it using that spiced lip liner. And this is the final look using all drugstore products. You can find these at Coles, Woolworths, Chemist Warehouse, Priceline. So I've tried to make everything that I've used today accessible for you guys. And it is quite easy to just go out and buy something quick from a drugstore, and and that can be your quick everyday makeup. I guess I'm just so used to using products from Sephora and Mecca that I had to just get used to the consistency of eyeshadow and contour and bronzer using a drugstore product. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using drugstore products, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's they're just a little bit different, like the quality of them. However, I do like the final look. I feel like it does look quite vivid in the colors and nicely blended as well. I tried my best to work with the products and to show you, just different options. I guess the main ones that I use are Rimmel, Maybelline and L'Oreal. So and Revlon too. If you have any other drugstore recommendations that you think, yes, this is the holy grail, this is my favorite product, let me know. DM me on Instagram. Would love to know what drugstore products you use. You could definitely wear this every day. I don't think it's that exaggerated or, you know, that intense that you can't wear this every day or to work, cafes, etc. when we're allowed to actually leave the house, which is today, Wednesday. We've just been given the heads up. Stage 1 of our restrictions have been reduced slightly, so that's exciting. It's always promising. I do hold on to those moments. And I hope you're all doing well, as you know, during this time. It's there's a lot of highs, there's a lot of lows. So I'm just holding on to the positives, and yeah, God willing, we can just all embrace each other and see each other again. That's a good thing, you know. I can be quite introverted sometimes, so for me to look forward to that is quite promising, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this drugstore tutorial. If you have any questions, send me a DM on Instagram, and yes, hope you like the look. Thank you guys. Mwah.